Welcome in the Unfiltered, everybody. After a 9-19 start for your Philadelphia Phillies, a negative 54 run differential, and in the bottom of the league in almost every single category at the plate, on the mound, and in the field, the Phillies did what we all thought was coming. Rob Thomson has been relieved of his duties as manager, and Don Mattingly, Donnie Baseball, takes over for the remainder of the season. Well, let's start what everyone's been waiting for. Ricky Bo, thoughts, my friend?
Let's start with this. Did Rob Thomson deserve to be fired in this situation? The answer is no. I think everybody would probably tell you it's no, because there's too many leftover ingredients. Dave Dombrowski is still here. You look as far as the pitching and the hitting coaches. When you look at this team, who's at fault here? Who is really at fault for this firing? Those 26 guys that put on the uniform every day and go out on the field and play, those are the guys that are responsible. Many of them have big-time contracts, and you could go all the way down to Alec Bohm. It's not like he's getting paid chopped liver this year to play the game of baseball. I will give some credit where credit is due. Bryce Harper came into the season with a lot on his plate from Dave Dombrowski and from the fan base that he needed to be elite. He has played well. You look at the rest of the team, I guess you could say Schwarber's hit his home runs, but it's not just pitching. It's not just hitting. It's the whole culture and every little bit of this ball club. Rob Thomson was the guy they had to go after. You have to cut off the head of the snake just to make everybody stand up and notice. That's why I think this move was made. It was something for these players to have to go into the clubhouse today. When they get in there, go look at yourself in the mirror and say, was this on me? Was I the reason that Rob Thomson is no longer here? Because you look at Rob Thompson's record, he's over a 60% winner in the game of baseball with the Phillies. That doesn't tell me that that's a guy that should be fired. Now, you look at the whole situation, it probably had to happen. And you have to almost wonder, why didn't other people go with him, is the question that's going to be asked. That's the question that's going to be thrown out there. But as of right now, I look at it as an unfortunate happening that had to be done.
Yeah, I think you said it well, my friend. I agree with you 100%. And when you say other moves were not made, you're right. Kevin Long is still here. Caleb Cotham is still here as the pitching coach. So here's what the official moves are for your Philadelphia Phillies. Rob Thomson relieved as manager. Don Mattingly named interim manager. To take over for Don Mattingly as bench coach, they moved third base coach Dusty Watham to bench. To replace the third base coach, they had to bring up the AAA manager, Anthony Contreras. That's your third base coach. Those were the only moves that were announced by the Philadelphia Phillies today. So it looks like Long is here, and it looks like Caleb Cotham is here. But I'm right there with you, Ricky. I mean, Rob Thomson, I think this is the right move because you can't fire all the players at once. Even firing Dave Dombrowski at this point doesn't really do anything to try to wake up the team. I think this was the right move. But here we are now talking about the loss of a guy who has the highest winning percentage in franchise history. He finishes his career .355 and .270 with a .568% winning percentage. They've gone to the postseason all 4 years he was manager. The problem, though, was in addition to coming out to a 9-19 start this year, they've lost 8 of their last 10 postseason games.
That's a big problem.
That's what a lot of people remember.
I think a lot of things really go into this, but it's got to start with your roster. I mean, when you look at the roster right now, you have all these guys that are signed throughout, guys that are signed for multiple years here in Philadelphia. So why is that Rob Thomson's fault? Why does it have to be his fault? I guess you say, that does he have his players playing to their highest potential right now? The answer would be no. They are not playing to the highest potential. But I think there's a lot of different ways that people are going to look at this, and I cannot wait to hear what the fan base has to say today and our callers have to say today, our voice memos have to say today, because there's going to be people that are upset about it. There's going to be people that had to happen. It had to go, but there's got to be somebody else that has to go with them. I think it could be as simple as this. I think, and this is honest opinion, I think Rob Thomson is a stand-up individual. It would not have surprised me. Now, I don't know if this happened. I don't know if it could have happened. I'm wondering if he was told to fire the other guys. and he declined.
And he fell on the sword himself.
He's that type of person. It would not surprise me, not even in the least.
Now, that's what I initially thought too, Ricky.
I'm not saying that definitively happened.
But there's been more reports coming out over the last hour or so. And there's an article from Mac Elb, Ken Rosenthal, and our buddy Jason Stark, who will join us tomorrow, talking about how the Phillies made the offer to Alex Cora.
When?
Right? And here's what it says in the article. After the Boston Red Sox fired Cora on Saturday night, the Phillies courted the manager in a swift and dramatic process that one person described as intense. So if you're telling me when Cora got fired on Saturday, the Phillies swiftly moved in to try to hire him, then this decision was made days ago, wasn't it?
They already had their decision made. If that's what they were doing, they were swooping in. I'm wondering if they had the decision made and maybe they were going to do it on the off day and then introduce Cora on the same day if Cora were to say yes, but then maybe they had second thoughts when Cora said no. You ever think about that? Maybe it was like, okay, now what do we do? And I'm a little surprised Don Mattingly took it. I thought it was going to be Dusty Wathan the whole time. So I guess I'm a little surprised in that whole predicament, because that is a predicament you get thrown into. I mean, you're in a weird spot. You come in as a bench coach. Your son is basically your boss, and you get hired as the new manager. Is that a little weird?
First time in Major League Baseball history to have a father-son GM manager.
I don't think that's
duo.
Actually true.
That's what someone put out there.
I thought Connie Mack.
Father-son GM manager.
I thought somebody put that out today. I may be 100% wrong.
Interesting. Connie Mack did it. I mean, that had to be way back in the day.
I'm not 100% sure. I thought I read something like that.
Well, we'll confirm that.
But all right, let's get back to this. This is a shock, in not to me or not to you. That's what it's meant to be. In this type of situation, this is meant to add shock value to the team. And I think it had gotten to the point where who was actually running or who actually thought they were running the team. The players, the coaches, who was actually running the team. And maybe that played a little bit into it too. But this is a shock value to the players because this is saying, guess what, guys? You're having a new leader now. You know why? Because you guys didn't perform. This is in a long, kind of drawn out way. This isn't even about Rob Thomson. Maybe a little bit. You brought up the playoffs. He hasn't won the playoffs. He struggled a little bit in the playoffs. But is this really about Rob Thomson, or is this about saying to the players, you're not always going to get what you want now unless you perform? Time to perform.
Yeah.
Time to show up.
Now, you're right on the money with this because I wanted to see them do this. I said it yesterday on the show. I didn't want to just see a half measure of moving on from the hitting coach or the pitching coach. I wanted to see them relieve Rob Thomson for that very reason. I wanted it to be a wake-up call to the players, which is the largest payroll in franchise history. It's the fifth highest in Major League Baseball, but the largest payroll in the Phillies franchise history. And listen to some of these numbers, Ricky. We all know they're 9-19, right? They've had to roll out 21 different batting orders in 28 games. That's on Dombrowski, not Rob Thomson, because he can't figure out how to use these guys who are all struggling.
Right.
They're a minus 54 run differential, which is not only the worst in baseball, the closest to them is a minus 28. Like, they are almost double worse run differential than the second worst team. They're 28th in runs scored, 28th in hits, 29th in batting average, 29th in OBP, 27th in slug, 29th in OPS. All right, but it's not just the offense. They're 28th in ERA, 29th in whip, 30th in opponent batting average. And when you just look at the starting rotation, a starting rotation that was number one in innings pitched last season is 22nd right now. Number two in ERA from your starters last season, last in Major League Baseball at 30, and the fielding has been shoddy at best as well. So when you look at all of that, you can't fire everybody on the team. You can't get rid of all these players, but ultimately it's their fault. And they got to look themselves in the mirror, like Ricky said, and realize this guy, Rob Thomson, who has always fallen on the sword for us, who has always stuck up for us, now is without a job, even though he has the highest winning percentage in franchise history because of us. And they better wake up, and they better win tonight. And when you look at what they have coming, Ricky, in the next few weeks, this is an opportunity for them to get rolling. You got the Giants, the Marlins, the A's, the Rockies, and then the Red Sox. 5 series in a row where you should be able to win a majority of those series. Wake up and start winning some baseball games.
Well, you have to wonder, did they make the decision right here because of that whole situation looking in front of them? With the Giants, the Marlins sitting in front of you right now. You have the Red Sox who have not been playing well. You have teams that you could kick the living daylights out of standing in front of you. Was that the reason why this was the timing of the move, that they felt like, oh, you know what? You know what they look at? This is going to sound weird. That I think they would look at it like, let's say they went 6-3 in their last 9 and Topper was still here. They would say, oh, well, we can't do anything now. But I think they found an opening here, knowing that if they put Mattingly in there right now, he could go on cruise control for a little while, and the team could play poorly and still win some of these games. Did you bring up the stat about their batting average against?
No, but that is
dead last.
I think I did say it, 30th in opponent batting
286.
So also, what I thought you said, and I didn't bring it up, not only their batting average against, something Jason Stark had told us before, their batting average on balls in play. Now, this goes to how bad they've been in the field. 354 opponent batting average on balls in play, which is the worst since 1899's Cleveland Spiders. That's how bad things have been.
That is terrible.
And you can't put it all on Rob Thomson, but unfortunately, he's the guy that takes the fall. Now it's time for them all to wake up. But here's what we got going on today. I want to hear from you. Ricky wants to hear from you. We want to hear Phillies fans' opinions on this. Was this the right move? And do you think this is going to have an immediate impact on the Philadelphia Phillies? There are 3 ways to get involved with the show. It's the same number across the board. You could send your texts and your voice memos to the Davis Honda text line, 610-632-0975. But we also want to hear from you. So pick up the phone the old-fashioned way, and you can call and get involved in the show. Same phone number, 610-632-0975. Was this the right move, and do you think it's going to change anything with this Phillies team? 610-632-0975.